Welcome to Monday on the Mat. My name is Liza Allen and today's focus is myofascial release with Pilates. So last week we worked with the breath and we'll do the same during this class, but we're also going to work on releasing some of the traditionally tighter areas of the body while moving through a Pilates mat workout. Just about 15 minutes long, so let's get started. I've got my mat I've got my roller on my mat vertically, and I'm going to ask you to scoot all the way down onto the mat, and when you ease yourself back, if you find that your head is kind of hanging off of the roller back this way, slide down a little bit towards your feet. Widen those feet about the width of the mat, and then if you've got a ponytail, you might want to tuck it under, wrap it up so that you don't roll on your ponytail. So what we're going to start with is just a little shifting side to side from forearm to forearm. The body is as relaxed as possible. And the reason that we're starting with this is we just want to get a sense of stability. It does feel in certain positions like you could fall right off of that foam roller, and you can. So we want to develop just a little sense of confidence here. And we're really just rocking from one side to the other. But if we want to work on releasing some of the muscles in the mid-back between the shoulder blades or the scapula, we can open those arms out and rock across those areas. Now, if that's very uncomfortable for you, start with something small and manageable. So we're going to just allow ourselves to breathe in and breathe out. And when you're a little uncomfortable, it's really usual to hold your breath. So I just want you to remind yourself to continuously breathe in and out. Okay, we're going to come to a pause. Bring those forearms back to the mat. Heels are going to come in line, maybe a little bit wider than sitting bone distance. You should at least be the width of the roller with those feet. And we're going to start by reaching one arm out and up, and maybe explore how far back you can take it, keeping the back relaxed and the ribs from flaring, and opening the arm a little bit if needed for shoulder comfort, but keeping the arm in your peripheral line of sight, drawing it down. We're going to inhale, reach back. We're going to exhale, reach down, alternating sides. Okay, we'll do this about 4 more times, and then we'll allow the arms to just relax, and we'll focus on the feet. So these are traditional warm-up Pilates movements, but the added challenge of being on the foam roller creates a different dynamic. We're going to lift one heel and lower. All 10 toes are on the mat. Even when the heel lifts on the one foot, so you want to spread those 5 toes wide and feel like you're up and over that first metatarsal, your big toe area. And what we're going to do is combine these 2 movements if it's available to you. So you can stick with just arms, you could stick with just legs, or you can add a heel lift as you are reaching the arm back using that breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Now, if you can, I'm going to ask you to stay on one side, and when the arm comes down on that exhale phase, let's lift the hand and the shin to the ceiling. So the fingertips are to the sky, the shin is tabletop position. We're going to lower that same leg and bring it back up. Inhale, reach. Exhale, draw it up. Just twice more. Keeping in mind that the leg can go just part way down and the arm can go part way back. It's not all or nothing. Let's release that arm and leg combination. Lift the heel, reach the second arm. Feel your body stay released here. So your abdomen is, the abdominal muscles are active, but you're also not smashing down into the mat. So we want to feel as close to being on the floor as possible. And if you don't happen to have a foam roller and you just want to do these exercises with me on your mat, that certainly works as well. Here's that last one. And we're going to finish up here with a little reach out to the sides. Hands come to the top of the head, and we're gonna just roll again, and you'll probably feel like you're up into the upper trapezius a little bit more, and you are. So if that's too much, you bring it on back to this, or even to this. So listen to your body. I don't want you to walk into pain, but I do want you to be okay with muscular discomfort, and I want you to be really well familiar with the difference on your body. All right, we're gonna roll right off and bring that roller now right behind the rib cage. Taking a moment to do a few stretches before we take ourselves into our rolling movement. So we're going to inhale, open it up, and exhale, bring it down. And this is gonna look different on every person. So when you start feeling a stretch without a strain in the low back or the neck or the shoulders, that's where you're gonna stop, right? We'll breathe in and breathe out, really allowing the chest and shoulders to broaden as you stretch back. On the next one, we're gonna come up just high enough to see our own knees, lift the pelvis, draw the abdominal muscles in, and then let your eye focus go towards the ceiling, and we're just gonna roll to the top of the shoulders and down to the base of the rib cage. We're staying off of the cervical spine or the neck area. And this is fairly intense for some, so you can stick with this. You can continue your stretches, or you can give me a small amount of rotation and move onto one shoulder blade a little more vigorously. And after you've done about 3 to 5 passes, you can switch on over to the other side. Typically, one side needs a little more attention and a little more love than the other. Good, we're gonna go ahead and bring the hips down, bring the arms up, and pull that foam roller right on up to your tush, and bring yourself onto it. So a really common Pilates movement that we do is making a C curve. So I have my hands pretty even with my roller. I'm right up on my sitting bones, and I'm gonna reach my arms forward in this hug a tree position, pulling the sternum away from the fingertips, pulling the belly away from the hands, and really rounding my back. So trying to move my clothes to make it apparent. Breathe in, sit tall. You can go to a little hyperextension, and then exhale. And when you do your flex right here, try to keep those upper traps as relaxed as possible. So we already rolled out the upper spine, and we're gonna go ahead and move through a few more exercises here. Let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1 more. Hold it right here, okay? You're gonna lengthen up, reaching the arms forward, and rotate 2 taps back with the arm, and other side. And we go, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Using those arms after rolling your shoulder blades in 2 directions, or the muscles surrounding the shoulder blades. We've got 1 more. Now we're gonna come to the center, open the arms, the legs will open the width of the mat. We're gonna flex those toes, so you're right on your heels. The knees can stay slightly bent. We're gonna reach the arm towards the opposite foot and really try to keep that on the inside. And we're gonna reach, the legs straighten. We come back to that bent position, rotate around, reach it down. This is your saw. Using that breath, inhale up and around, exhale round and reach on a diagonal. Last 2. Last one. Now we are sneakily rolling the tush, and we're gonna do a little more tush rolling here. So bringing the feet together, completely together, drop your legs to one side, and roll on the outside of that hip. This is enough for many, and I am on my glutes still. I haven't really rolled to the outside of the hip, and that's a place that you can go, but this is not where we're gonna go today. We're gonna cross this leg over as an option, so now there's a little more weight on the glute that you're rolling, and if that's just too demanding, you just leave that foot right where it was. And then ahead and switch on over to the other side. Maybe adding, that's wrong leg, adding that little extra push down into the glutes. And then we'll bring ourselves back to center. We're going to move that roller underneath our thighs. My hands are palms on the mat, fingertips facing the sides of the room, and I really want to press out of my shoulders. This one does not work for everyone with their wrists, shoulders, or elbows, but I'm just going to spend a little time bringing my tush to the floor, bringing my heels to the floor. I'm rolling my hamstrings just a little bit as a transition on back to the mat. We've got 2 more. And 1 more. Let the tush stay there. Push your roller forward and bring yourself all the way down. Feet are right on top of that roller. Hands resting alongside the hips. We're going to lengthen the legs, flexing the toes back, pulling the feet in. Exhale, reach. Inhale, draw it in. Now, as you're doing this, you're doing all those breathing exercises that we have practiced before. And it's really just a deep full inhalation through the nose ideally, and exhaling through softly parted lips with almost a sigh, kind of activating the core as you exhale. All right, we've got 2 more. On the next one, go ahead and leave the legs out, roll the head and shoulders up, and look towards the feet. Now, if you need your hands behind your head, take them. We're going to move the roller up to the mid-calf, okay? We're going to bring one leg in. You can point both toes or keep your ankles relaxed. We're doing single leg stretch with a calf palpation, so we're tapping it down. Still breathing in, breathing out. Roller could move, so you just want to find that sort of fleshier part of your calf musculature. And then we're going to go right into slowing it down and crisscrossing. So now you're tapping down a little more gently. And you could keep your legs higher up if that feels better on your back. Last 2. Last one. And from here we release. Knees into chest. Give yourself a little hug. Reach down, arches of the feet on the roller. Hands alongside the hips. Fist distance between the knees or sit bone distance. We're just going to do a neutral bridge. We'll do about 6. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Feel the front of the hip open. Feel the front of the hip crease. Feel the spine stay neutral and stable, resting right on those wide open shoulder blades. Upper back is nice and relaxed. All right, last one. We're going to hold this one up. Little challenge if you want it. You're going to push your roller to your heels, toes flex back, pull back in. Push and pull. Push and pull, just 2 more. Push and pull. Notice that the roller kind of starts to move away from you. You can adjust. And then slowly roll all the way down. Roll all the way up. Reach forward and take a little stretch. Now, you may or may not be touching those toes, and that's irrelevant. You can have your hands on your shins next to you. I want you to lengthen your spine and look just beyond the toes, feeling a big stretch at the back of the leg. So we'll draw the legs beneath ourselves, and we're going to go ahead and come onto the front of the shins, or the front of the shins. Oh yeah, you're on the front. You're on your hands and knees. Let's go ahead and bring our thighs onto the roller, flex the toes, and take a little stretch in the soles of the feet. Shoulders glide away from the ears, palms are spread wide, belly is pulling up towards the spine. Shift your weight forward and back, keeping your feet on the floor. So you'll move to the big toe, and you'll move back into the heel. Little reach, little calf stretch. So as you're doing this, you want to feel like you're keeping life in the torso. So not letting yourself drop down into those shoulders. And if this is enough, this is where you stay. But if you're up to a bit more, you can make your range of motion greater, taking your feet off of the floor. I'm going to need a little more space. Okay? we're looking for that all the way to the hip, all the way to the knee, but not really on either of them. And like we did from a couple of other positions, we could spread the legs a little bit and rotate towards one side. So I've got my right foot facing you and my left foot is facing a little bit towards the heel of that foot. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and take it on over to the other side. If that's more than you're up for today, don't worry about it. Stay right in the center. You want to keep those toes on the floor, keep those toes on the floor. I'm going to show you one more way to challenge this though, and it's pretty uncomfortable if you're not used to it, so take it slow. Feet bend, or knees bend, feet up to the sky. Now you got a little more pressure on those quadriceps. And it's a little, takes your breath away, but you can do it. Let's bring those knees down. We're gonna push our roller forward. Take a quick stretch here. Feeling lots of open space between those shoulder blades and around the whole shoulder girdle. Good. From here, we're going to take the leg closest to the screen, step over, push the roller right on up to the heel. And if you're feeling a great stretch on the front of that extended leg, then go ahead and stay right there. But if you need more, bring yourself up, even adding the arm to this. Then you're just going to use your roller and let yourself have a little lateral flex. So you're leaning, side bending towards the end of the roller. Good, bringing it down, swooping that leg around. I'm going to come at you from the front so you can see the second side from a different angle. So, heel right up, or roller right up to the heel. Slide yourself back to whatever extent you need, and then lengthen the spine. Notice that my knee is in line with my ankle and my hip, so it's not hanging out there. All those toes are on the mat. Maybe we raise that arm up, opening the front of the hip more vigorously, and then reach over. Bringing the hands inside of the thigh, swooping the leg around, and we're right back where we began. Quick workout. Used your body in lots of different positions and hopefully released some of those tighter muscles. So foam roller is awesome. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I like to integrate it into movement and kind of work our way through the discomfort while practicing Pilates. So we'll see you next week for Monday on the Mat.